As South Asian parents, carers, and community leaders, we love our children deeply. We want them to succeed, to be respected, to be safe, and to make us proud. But today, I want to talk about something that often stays hidden in our homes and our community conversations: neurodiversity, autism, SEN, behaviour, and belonging. Not because there is something wrong with our children, but because there's something missing in the environments around them. The truth is simple. Children cannot learn unless they feel like they belong. And right now, too many neurodivergent children are losing learning, losing confidence, and losing themselves in systems that don't understand them. So, what is neuroinclusion? Neuroinclusion means designing environments at home, at school, and in the wider community that works for all brains, not just some. According to the NHS, autism is a lifelong developmental disability which affects how people communicate and interact with the world. Autistic children may find it difficult in their communication skills. They struggle with social cues, they experience sensory overwhelm, and they take longer to process information. But they find comfort in repetition. These are neurological differences, they are not defects. So, how can we make ideas more concrete through visuals, create sensory environments that matter, and create clear expectations that reduce anxiety? Give them processing time that is essential and adapt activities that create access. Neuroinclusion is not about fixing children, it's about fixing environments so that children can thrive. So let's take a look at the social cultural landscape for our children that they live in. High value for individual experience is what the world of young people navigate. They have to navigate social justice orientation, they have to navigate mistrust of authority, and they have to navigate fluid identities. Your House 2015 explains 3 lenses. They talk about the integrity lens, when something is correct. They talk about the disability lens, where it's something to empathize with. And they talk about the third lens, which is the diversity lens, which is something to celebrate. And this is the lens that we want to be in. Neuro-inclusion requires us to move from correction to empathy to celebration. So let's speak honestly as a community. In many South Asian homes, we hear, "Don't label the child," or "What will people say?" But autism as a lifelong condition means that autistic children can range from IQ levels, communication levels, and skills. Ethnic minorities are less likely to be diagnosed with ASD because of the stigma, or they are likely to be diagnosed considerably later in life when the damage has already been done. Late diagnosis means there is late support, there is late intervention, and there is late belonging. And as for girls, who often camouflage or mask, the delay is even greater, and it is heartbreaking to see, especially when the children suffer in silence and they feel so misunderstood by the people that love them the most. This is not a parenting failure. This is a systemic issue made worse by cultural silence. So, when your child or even teenager or even adult is kicking, screaming, or withdrawing, it often comes from sensory overload, communication difficulties, anxiety, and unfamiliar situations. This isn't violence. This isn't disrespect. This isn't even bad behavior or challenging behavior. It's the child wanting to create the right space. They need a quiet area. They need to have areas that facilitate social learning. And they need to be given time to get familiar. When we understand the behavior, we can stop punishing our children for struggling. I want to link down below a very important paper of social and public policy, which is called the IPPR and Difference in 2024. It's a 2024 report that shows that children waiting for an EHCP, which means an educational healthcare plan, or who are stuck on SEN support, SEN standing for special educational needs, are most likely to be repeatedly excluded. Why is this? Because SEN support is overstretched. EHCPs take years, and this is why children are often going years from year 7 all the way up to year 11 to be undiagnosed and often untreated. And during that wait, children fall through the cracks, they fall through the system, and we cannot wait for the paperwork to create belonging. We cannot wait for the diagnosis to create safety, and we cannot wait for the funding to create humanity. Because if we keep on waiting, we will continue waiting and the change will not come. So let's look at practical neuroinclusion. The first, as I said in my previous video, is visual supports to make ideas concrete, to reduce anxiety and to support processing. So using zone charts, using labeled areas, even labeling your books and your tables, knowing that they have a particular seat, knowing that you have a particular seating plan, gives the child consistency. These are not extras, they are access. Adapting your activities is essential. Look at, are your instructions literal? Is there sensory systems to support their learning? And can we run parallel activities? We can have a mainstream activity, but when we can also have an activity that requires extra support to help those children who are neurodivergent to be included in the main activity, but maybe at a slower pace. Have we given extra processing time? These are questions that allow neuroinclusion to be in action. And to create the right space, whether it's in your home or whether it's in your classroom, doing sensory audits, creating quiet areas, clear expectations, early arrival, and social facilitation. A child cannot learn if their nervous system is in survival mode. And the final 2 parts I want to talk about is communication tools. I'm going to link to my website where you can access a PDF to a booklet about these different communication tools. This includes PECs, sentence starters, modeling speech, giving choices, and giving grounding phrases. Communication is not just verbal, it's relational. And the leaflet explains peer mediation, peer mediation and structured play. This allows peers to help with the transition and for peers to model the behavior. So having a partner next to them who models prime behavior or social acceptable behavior, and using structured play to build friendships. Belonging is built socially, not just academically, and it's built relationally. And the final part of the leaflet is self-monitoring logs. This encourages self-management and independence. It gives targeted goals and it gives positive reinforcement. This builds agency and not dependency. So, in future planning within your home or within your classroom, give a heads up. Evaluate with young people, not just for them. Evaluate with leaders, collaborate with parents, and empower peers with knowledge. The other children in the classroom also need to know what neurodivergence is as well as what neuroinclusion is. Neuroinclusion is not just one moment. It is a culture, it is a movement. And the last and the most important thing I have to tell you is that your language around neurodivergence matters. Your terminology is powerful. So avoid saying low functioning, high functioning, special needs, Asperger's, or everyone is a bit autistic. That is a no-go. Use phrases and keywords like neurodivergence, neurotypical, autistic person, or a person with autism, dependent on what the child feels more comfortable with. The autism is not their identity, it is a trait. It is not something that they have to internalize. And it's not something that they should be ashamed of or something that they struggle with. It can also be something that they're proud of and can be celebrated. And using neuro-affirming language. Language shapes dignity. So remember, your child is not a burden, your child is not broken, and your child is not less than. They are simply wired differently, and that difference is beautiful. Seeking support is not shameful. If anything, it's the most powerful and most courageous thing you can do for your child. It's protective, it's love in action. Be patient because you may only see progress months down the line, and progress comes incrementally. It requires so much patience and so much love to continue on that journey. And that's okay. Progress is not linear, but belonging is powerful. Neuroinclusion is not a strategy, it's a mindset, it's a culture, it's a commitment. When we understand our children, we empower them, we adapt our environments, we free them, and we break the silence, we break the cycle. And when we choose inclusion, when we truly choose it, we don't just change classrooms, we change the future. So if you found this video helpful, subscribe for more tips around neuroinclusion and neurodiversity, and click on my website below to get your free PDF around neurodiversity and how you can support your child in their journey, especially tailoring your teaching resources or tailoring your parenting style to fit the child's needs. And if you're looking for a speaker within your schools, universities, or corporations around DEI, which means equality, diversity, inclusion, or about public speaking, give me a message and we shall get a conversation going. And until next time, bye.